Hey, what's going on, government class? Welcome back. It is Wednesday, Hump Day, March 24th, 2021. Hope you're having a great week so far. We're halfway through it. Let's keep on pushing. Let's get to that weekend. What do we got today? Well, as always, last class review, we're going to take a look at some of those non-legislative powers that we talked about, read about, I should say, impeachment, electoral duties, yada, yada, yada. All that stuff, we're going to go over that. Then today, we are going to begin a project. It is a 2-day project. That is good news and bad news. We'll get to that later. We'll get to the good news and the bad news later. After that, we'll give you your attendance and your assignment. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at what we did last class with the non-legislative powers. All right, non-legislative powers, handout that we went over last class, or that you were required to complete last class. Everything, obviously, that is in red is new and kind of what I was hoping you guys would get from the reading. So let's start on the left side, work our way right. What is impeachment? It is a formal accusation of misconduct while in office. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to take accusation, we're going to bold it and underline it. Most people in America do not know what I'm about to tell you. Impeachment does not mean that you are guilty of anything. All it means is that you are being accused of doing something. We'll talk about impeachment later on in this unit, but to be impeached means you are charged with something. You then, just like every other aspect of our judicial system and our justice system, you must be found guilty. You can still be found not guilty. Impeachment is just a charge of misconduct while in office. Now, these three guys, they all did some pretty bad stuff. Andrew Johnson was impeached, meaning he was charged with a crime. But he was not found guilty. He was acquitted by one vote, one single vote. That is cutting it very, very close. Bill Clinton was impeached on 2 charges. However, he was also found not guilty. I say by the Senate. The House of Representatives is the one who brings the charge of impeachment, and then the Senate holds the trial. The Senate found Bill Clinton not guilty, so he was impeached, but not convicted. Richard Nixon was a president as well who was about to be impeached. However, he resigned from office before he could be impeached. And this wasn't on there, but I thought it was very important to add. Donald Trump, he now makes this impeachment list. He created history. He is the only president to ever be impeached twice. He was actually found guilty both times, found not guilty both times. That's an important distinction to make. He was found not guilty both times, but he was impeached twice in his one term as president. Only president to ever be impeached twice. Now remember, that just means charged. It does not mean that you are found guilty or convicted. That is a power of the House of Representatives and Senate. We'll even add that for you guys. The House charges and the Senate holds the trial. So they either convict or let you go free. Now, for constitutional amendments, we talked about this a while ago in our Constitution unit. The United States Congress can propose amendments to the United States Constitution. Every amendment that's been added to the Constitution so far has been proposed by the U.S. Congress. Electoral duties, this is an important one. Doesn't happen often, and it hasn't happened while I've been around, but if no president can get a majority of electoral votes, the United States Congress gets to choose a president. So you have to get 270 electoral votes to win the presidency. There are ways that you cannot, where there can be a tie, and neither candidate gets 270. If that happens, the House of Representatives chooses the president, and the Senate chooses the vice president. And I'm sorry, we should certainly capitalize Senate. So that doesn't happen often, like I said, but if it ever did,
That's who would choose the president. They also have the investigatory power, which we talked about earlier on in this unit. They can conduct investigations and require people to testify under oath, meaning not lie. These investigations usually need to lead to new laws or changes in government programs or removing officials from office. Basically, they go on fact-finding missions and they try to figure out what's going on and if something in government needs to be changed or removed. And then finally, for executive powers, and we will talk more about this later on in our executive branch unit, the Senate has the power to approve presidential appointments. That means all Supreme Court justices, ambassadors, cabinet members, these type of people, which we'll talk about next unit. So if you don't know what they are, don't worry. But they are federal employees. The president gets to choose whoever they want to fill these positions. But they must be confirmed by the Senate, meaning at least a majority must confirm them. Say, yes, we approve. Remember, confirmation means to approve. They must approve anybody the president chooses. If they don't approve, and only, let's say, 40 people vote yes to approve, the president has to find a new person to fill this spot, whether it's a justice, an ambassador, or a cabinet member. Likewise, the Senate has the power to ratify, also approve, treaties with other countries. So if the president decides to go on and just, make a treaty with another country, he can't do that without the Senate's approval. The Senate must approve all treaties and must confirm all presidential appointments. Okay, that is that. Hopefully you got all those answers, or at least some of them. If you want to redo it and get some extra credit or boost your grade up, absolutely feel free. But let's go ahead and take a look at your project. So, your major project here, of course, is going to start with a little bit of notes. So what I want you to do is, on a blank piece of paper, you guys are going to copy these notes down that you see on the screen right now. And we're talking about major differences between the House and the Senate. Now we know a lot of these already, so they'll just be a review, but we're going to need all of this information for our project. So here's what we're going to do. As I said, on a sheet, you're going to write these down. I'm going to explain these to you now, and then once we're done explaining them, I will tell you how you will use this information for your project. Let's begin with the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives is considered the lower house, as in it's not as nice, it's not as prestigious, it's not as important as the Senate. Even though there's no word house in the title, it still is a house. Remember, we have a bicameral legislature. That means a two-house system. The House of Representatives is the lower house. The Senate is the upper house. It is the more prestigious. Also, the House of Representatives has 435 members, while the Senate only has 100. We know from the Connecticut Compromise in the House of Representatives, representation is based on population. The more people you have in your state, the more people you get in the House of Reps. In the Senate, it's equal representation. No matter how many people you have, everybody gets 2 senators. As we said, this goes hand in hand with lower house and upper house. The House of Reps has less prestige. The Senate has more prestige. That means it's nicer, it's more respectable. The House of Representatives, we know, shorter terms, only 2-year terms. The Senate has longer terms, 6 years. House of Representatives, we know from way, way back, you only have to be 25 to be a member of the House of Reps, so they have younger members. The Senate, you have to be at least 30. They have older members. Much older people in the Senate than in the House. Also, the House of Representatives has less press and media coverage. The Senate gets way more press and media coverage. They're on the news more. They're on social medias more. They're everywhere. People know senators more than they know members in the House of Representatives. From how a bill becomes a law, our legislative process, we know that the House of Representatives has less flexible rules. They have a rules committee. They have rules about how long they can talk, how many amendments can be added. In the Senate, they are more flexible. They have the filibuster. They get to do whatever they want sometimes. They are more flexible with their rules. In the House of Reps, they have more committees, which makes sense because they have more members. The Senate has fewer committees. The House of Reps has more people, so again, it can act quicker. The Senate is slow. They take a long time. When it comes to special duties, we know that the House starts revenue bills. Any bill that has to do with revenue, that moolah, the young money, baby, it must be started in the House. And also when it comes to impeachment, they're the ones who bring the charges. Special duties for the Senate, they approve presidential appointments, they approve treaties, and they get to be the ones that hear the cases when it comes to impeachment. They decide guilty or not. Now, this is all you need to have written down for your notes. Have them on one sheet of paper. Make sure it's divided so you know which difference goes under which house. And you're going to use that to create a poster. However, this poster that you are going to create isn't going to have any words on it whatsoever. The idea for your project is that you're going to create a poster on a regular sized sheet of printer paper with colored pencils, crayons, markers, and you are going to represent as many of these as you can using pictures. Or another way to think of it is to use emojis that you would find in your phone or online to represent these different differences. Now, this may be confusing, so I'm going to show you an example of what a class did last year. And that's this picture right here. They have the Senate on the right side. They have the House of Representatives on the left. Those are the only words that I want to see on your little poster project. House of Reps and Senate. And then for every difference, they created either an emoji or a picture that shows that difference right here. The Senate is the upper house, so it's in a cloud, it's up high. The House of Representatives is a lower house, so it's on the ground. House of Representatives has younger membership, so they have a binky. The Senate has how many members? 100, so they drew a $100 bill. They're representing the 100 members by showing a $100 bill. The House of Representatives term, it's 2 years, right? So there's a playing card with a 2 on it. These are all really great examples. A snail, I bet you can guess what that is. A snail moves slow. So the Senate, slower. Perfect representation. These are great pictures or examples of a picture representation of the differences. And that's what you are going to do. Now, you don't need to do this on a full sheet of, or a full big old piece of poster board, just like I said, on a regular sheet of printer paper. And I have some more good news for you as well. You're going to have 2 days to do this. So this will be due on Friday. Now, I want you to come up with some original ideas. Don't just steal all the stuff you see here on this example. See if you can come up with some better emojis or some better pictures that represent all these differences. Whoever comes up with the most creative is going to get some extra credit. Let's go ahead and review this, and I'll give you your attendance question as well.
Okay, so that is what you're going to be working on for the next 2 days. Now, when I say a piece of paper, do it like this. Just do it on something like this. Doesn't need to be a big poster. We're not in school. You just need a piece of paper. Colored pencils, crayons, markers. Make it colorful. If you need supplies, if you don't have colored pencils, crayons, markers, stuff like that, feel free to come by the school and pick those up either today, tomorrow, or Friday. We have some available. I will be here. You just come on through, knock on the door. Hey, I need some supplies. We will give you some, okay? That way you can have a nice colorful poster. What does that mean for today's assignment? Well, today's assignment, since it's a 2-day project here, today I just want you to send me a picture of your differences notes. The major differences notes that we talked about first before we saw the poster example that you're supposed to be writing down or typing, send me a picture of those that you created. Your poster, also known as a postie, apparently, poster is French. Your poster is due on Friday. That means you have today, tomorrow, and Friday to work on it before it is due. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be working on it today. You should start working on it today because think about Friday, you're also going to have what in my class? Boom, a weekly review quiz. So we're going to have some work to do on Friday. You're going to have a weekly review quiz on Friday. Pretty much just a weekly review quiz on Friday. That's all Friday is going to be. So you'll have today and Friday for our classes to work on this poster. And when I say poster, again, this big. Use emojis, use cool drawings, come up with something creative to show things that are flexible, not flexible for rules, all that good jazz. Come up with some creative ideas. Like I said, most creative gets extra credit. You're going to send that to me on Friday. For today, all you have to do is send me a picture of your notes. But get cracking. Get cracking on this poster, all right? Don't put it off to the last minute because you'll have that quiz on Friday as well. That's it. You guys have a great rest of your hump day. We'll see you on Friday. Take care.